Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, my name is Daniela Agofere and I make self-help videos that are tied to faith because this is a faith-based channel, and if that's something you'd be interested in, subscribe and let's get straight into this video. So today's video is actually a video that I've recorded a couple of times, right, this particular topic, and for some reason something is just always happening, but I'm like, okay, let's give this one more try. So today's topic is called wise counsel, and it's coming from a verse really from the book of 2 Samuel that just stood out to me. And the more I started to meditate on it and really study on it, it's really made me have a deep self-reflection on my actions, and I just felt to share, right? So I'm reading from 2 Samuel 19 verses 6, and this is the ESV version. It says, "Because you love those who hate you and hate those who love you, for you have made it clear today that commanders and servants are nothing to you. For today I know that if Absalom were alive and all of us were dead today, then you will be pleased." So just to give you a background knowledge, if you're not familiar with the book of 2 Samuel, this is Joab, the leader of the commander of David's army, rebuking him because David's son Absalom had led a rebellion against him, right? And his troops go into battle and they regain power from Absalom, and Absalom is killed in the process. So David is grieving for his son, which is understandable, right? But this in turn makes his troops feel like they are not honored. It makes them feel like their sacrifices are not being appreciated, right? And it made me really have a deep self-reflection on my own personal actions and how in times of pain have I let pain cloud my judgment. Have I let pain make me dishonor those who have been loyal to me, who have stood with me in times of difficulty, right? Because as human beings, this is something that we easily fall victim to. We are in so much pain, we are undergoing so much hardship, but we fail to recognize and honor those people around us who have stood with us through that process, right? And I have a couple of points written down here that I want you guys to take notes. So number one, unprocessed grief, pain can cloud our judgment. So while David's pain is real, right, he's grieving his son, but the question is, was that the right time? You have people who have just laid down their life in battle, because when you go into war, there's a real possibility that you will not come back alive. And his troops have family, they have kids, they have a wife at home, but they've laid down their life, they've gone into battle, they've gone into war for you, and they come back, they are rejoicing, but you are grieving, you are in pain, and a moment that was meant to be joyous, just a happy moment, right, it turned into a moment of sadness and shame, right? And they felt like they were not being honored, their sacrifices were not being appreciated. So yeah, it made me ask a question, right? Are there areas in my life where personal pain is causing me to undervalue or overlook the support that I've received from other people, right? Because there's something that pain does to us. It makes us be selfish in a way. We only see what we're going through. We do not see what other people are going through most of the time, right? We are so focused on our pain, and we overlook people who even stand with us during those times, right? Because we live in a social media age whereby the honest truth is there are times where you would go months, sometimes even years, and you will not hear from some people. There are times where people don't even check on you until they see you post something on Instagram. Did you see them in your DMs, in your comment section after you post something? But if you do not post something, you don't even hear from these people, right? And I'm not saying this to say that those people are bad, or people who don't reach out to you are bad, right? I'm saying this to say that you need to appreciate people who stand with you in times of difficulty, because it's actually not the easiest thing to do. Life is so busy, everybody has things that are going on for them, we all have our lives. But if you have people who actually make those sacrifices, who take out their time to be able to be there for you, it is important to honor them, to show them that they are valued, right? And number two, loyalty deserves recognition. Joab's rebuke, right, although it was quite harsh, it was necessary, because at the end of the day, it made David snap back into reality, and he went to address his troops and boosted their morale, right? So the question really is that, do I make space to honor the loyalty of others even when I'm hurting? It's important to honor the sacrifices that other people have made in your life, right? Even when you are hurting, even while you are going through the grief and the process, right? And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and she's actually a single mom, right? She has a daughter, she has a beautiful daughter, right? And she's just in a space in her life where she's trying to navigate what she wants to do in the next season. She's out of her job right now, so she's staying with her grandma. Her mom is late, right? And and she always talks about how her grandma speaks down on her. She's not exactly the kindest when it comes to words. While I understand that this could be a difficult moment, this could be a difficult time for you, right? And you're going through a lot, and this is the last thing that you need, right? We also need to understand that people are not the easiest, and it's okay. It's okay as long as they're showing up for you in the best possible way that they can. It requires honor, it requires appreciation, right? Because this is your grandma, mind you. She has paid her dues. She is at an age where she should be laying back. You should actually be taking care of her. Now she's taking care of not her own child, she's taking care of her grandchild and her great-grandchild. I can't imagine being at that age and having to still shoulder this responsibility, right? Because you're old, you're also tired, right? You've paid your dues in life. You shouldn't have to be going through this. That is an age where you actually look forward to your kids reciprocating, showing you care, affection, right? They're supposed to be providing for you, but you have to now shoulder this responsibility, right? That requires appreciation, it requires honor, it requires recognition, right? But sometimes we're going through so much grief, so much pain, that it causes us to dishonor those people who are actually making the sacrifices, right? Because not everybody will stand with you in a situation like that. Not everybody will be able to handle that, right? We even have mothers, we have parents who have even like distanced themselves from their children, right? For way less, they didn't even show up in their child's life like they should have, right? And this is you at this age in your life where you've gone to school, right? And in all sense and reality, you should be able to stand on your own at this point. But life is unpredictable, which I understand. So you are just you're navigating through life in a season where you never planned for, you never expected, right? And it's a hard time, but even in those hard times, you still need to be able to honor people. You need to be able to show them that you appreciate them in little ways, right? Yeah. And there's something my pastor said a while back. He was saying something about, I'm not sure if it's my pastor or if I saw it on Instagram. He said that even if someone speaks down on you, even if someone says something in a manner that you do not like it, maybe they criticized you, but you're staying in their house, they're providing for you, they're feeding you, you need to be appreciated, because that is what you need in that season to be able to get to the next season. Sometimes we don't always receive what we want, what we would like, but when you realize that in hindsight, this is actually helping you in some form of way, right? This is what you needed in that season. You needed provision, you needed a home to stay, you needed food to eat, you needed a roof over your head. Be grateful for that. Those are moments where you need to practice gratitude for the little things while you're still trusting God for more, while you're still striving to want to achieve more in your life. And number 3, emotions must be stewarded, not suppressed. Joab wasn't saying that David shouldn't grieve. It was just saying that this is not the time for this. You go out, you boost the morale of your army, right? You let them know that they've done a good job, which they have. They lay down their life for you. Then later at night, you can go and grieve for your child, right? This means that you need to be able to regulate your emotions. You need to be able to regulate your pain even while you're going through them. You do not bleed on other people. You do not show ungratefulness. You do not show dishonor to people because you are in pain, right? So yeah, you need to ask yourself difficult questions like, am I letting my emotions, my grief, anger, guilt, pain drown out my responsibility or damage my relationships, right? The times where you go through pain in life and you realize that at the end of the day you have very little friends around you, you have very little support system around you, and sometimes it's due to the way you stewarded those relationships around you. It's due to the way you handle those friendships around you, right? We allow our pain, our grief make us so bitter, makes us so unappreciative, makes us so we just don't know how to regulate our emotions when it comes to people. We don't know how to deal with people because we're in so much pain, right? We become so bitter, we become so hateful or resentful. It makes it very difficult for people to be around us, right? So you need to be able to regulate your emotions even while you are grieving, while you are in pain, and while you're hurting. Number 4, misplaced love can lead to misplaced priorities. Though Absalom sought David's death, David grieved him and dishonored his army. He dishonored his men, right? And you need to ask yourself difficult questions like, are there relationships, are there situations in my life, are there attachments that are pulling me away from what is right, what is healthy, what is loyal? Do you have people around you? Do you have unhealthy attachments, unhealthy relationships, right, that tell you that, oh, what you're doing is right when really what you're doing is wrong? That tell you to curse at your grandma when really this woman is laying down her time, her finances, her resources, right, to be able to take care of you in your time of hardship. Because we have people who stand by us in times of difficulties, and maybe they are not the easiest people. Maybe they have some form of shortcomings, which we all do as human beings, to be very honest. But you have someone who is telling you in your ear that, oh, this person is not this person, just speaking negatively about that person that is really in your corner. Those are attachments that you need to reevaluate. Those are relationships that you need to reevaluate. So number 5, hard truths can be a form of mercy, right? Even though Joab's rebuke was harsh, it made David regain clarity of what he was meant to do in that point in time, right? He was meant to lead. He's a leader, he's a king, and he was meant to lead accordingly, right? So sometimes strong correction actually is a wake-up call needed to return to wisdom. Sometimes we actually as human beings, when they pet you too much, right, it doesn't produce the fruits it's meant to produce, right? Sometimes a harsh rebuke is a wake-up call that is needed in order for you to apply wisdom to that situation, in order for you to take responsibility, take control, take charge of that situation, right? So you need to ask yourself questions like, do I welcome correction when I lose perspective? Who speaks hard truths in my life, and do I listen? Do I take this rebuke into account, right? Because you don't want to be around people who are constantly telling you all you want to hear, but they're not actually telling you what you need to hear in order for you to be able to grow, in order for you to be able to mature, right? Sometimes we have friends who are around us, it's just vibes. They're not really telling us the hard truths that we need to hear in order for us to be able to make that necessary change in our life, right? You don't want to surround yourself with people who are yes-sers, yes-mas. You want to have friends around you who will tell you what is necessary, what is needed at every point in time. It's just some takeaways, right? And I'm gonna close it with a prayer, right? Just some takeaways. Who in my life tells me the truth even when I don't want to hear it? How do I respond to corrections? Do I respond defensively, or do I respond with humility, right? Who or what needs to be reprioritized in my life right now, right? Wise counsel is very important in order for you to achieve anything great in life. in order for you to get to the next level in your life, most times you even require a mentor. And what does a mentor do? A mentor tells you what you need to do at that point in time. A mentor counsels you, right? It's someone that has gone ahead of you, it's someone that has achieved or at a point in their life where you are striving to get to. So they've gone through the challenges and they've overcome it, right? So sometimes they will correct you, and you need to ask yourself that, okay, am I receiving this in a constructive way, or am I being defensive about it? Because if you're not someone who can receive constructive criticism, it's going to be very challenging for you to grow, right? But what constructive criticism does to you is that you're able to reflect on your actions, you're able to reflect on what needs to be done, what needs to be handled, what needs to be reprioritized, what needs to change in your life, right? So yeah, that's really it. I'm gonna close up with a prayer. Lord, help me to honor the people who have remained loyal to me, even when my heart is hurting. Give me the wisdom to balance emotion with responsibility, and the humility to receive correction without being defensive. Thank you for your grace that brings me back into alignment. Thank you for your grace that does not hold anything against me, because your word says that your mercies are new every morning. Father Lord, give me a heart that can receive correction. Give me a heart that would help me honor those who have been loyal to me, who have stood in my corner in times of difficulty, in times of hardship. Give me a heart that is open to correction. For in Jesus' name I pray, amen. So yeah, that is it for today's video. If you feel like this video has blessed you in any way, I know that it blessed me. Like, share, leave a comment. I want to see your comments, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.